We're going to get to Jonathan Turley now, George Washington University law professor and a Fox News contributor. Jonathan, what do you make of all this?
Well, this falls under the category of you have to be careful what you ask for, because the deal that they struck originally just didn't pass muster with the federal judge. You know, the defense team got the sweetest of sweetheart deals, but upon even a cursory examination, it collapsed. You know, if they had been a bit more modest in what they were seeking, they may have been able to secure a plea and not face this type of stacked counts. These are significant charges with significant potential jail time. He would be a first offender, so it's not like he's going to max out. And also, these will all run concurrently, so it's not going to be a consecutive 25 years. But it's still a very serious move. It puts the president in a tough position on a number of levels. First, this is a law that the president supported, and his son is going to have to try to challenge it as much as possible. Second, one of the most obvious challenges that can be brought would be to challenge the constitutionality of the underlying law, to challenge the law his father has supported. That has been done in other courts. But to do so, he will have to cite cases that his father has denounced from the Supreme Court, cases that expanded the Second Amendment rights afforded to individuals.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential contradictions going on here. And I think Joe Biden was already asked that question, or if he wasn't asked it directly, Karine Jean-Pierre was asked why the president would support a diversion agreement when he has supported the idea of penalties for people who lie on purchase applications. Let me come back to what I was talking, Jonathan, with David Spunt about a moment ago, and that is a potential presidential pardon here for the presidential son. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he can issue a preemptive pardon, can he not?
He can. I wrote about this over a year ago, suggesting that if the president was not intending to run for re-election, he could pardon his son and admit that this was an abuse of the pardon power, and to say that his penalty will be to be a one-term president. The pardon power has been abused historically by presidents to assist friends and family members. That included Bill Clinton, who pardoned his half-brother. So there's nothing inviolate about the presidential pardon power. It has often been honored in the breach by presidents in the use to benefit themselves personally or politically. So he most certainly can issue a pardon. He can do it prospectively. He doesn't have to wait for a trial. I think that what you've seen with people like Clinton is they waited till they were literally leaving office to use that power for personal purposes. And I would not expect that the president could pardon his son and stand for re-election.
Let's not forget, it was, I was just pulling up the date, July 27th, Karine Jean-Pierre, press secretary for the president for the White House, was asked about that from a reporter in the room. She was forced into saying and ruling out that President Biden would hand his son, Hunter Biden, a pardon. We're going to actually pull that. Yeah, Jonathan?
Yeah, I remember that, and I wrote about it at the time because I really didn't think that that ended the issue for the Biden. You know, if the president decides that he's not going to run for office, he may follow Oscar Wilde's rule that the only way to be rid of temptation is to yield to it. That's what Bill Clinton did. You know, he was literally on his way out of the White House and decided that he would pardon his half-brother. And so I don't think you can say that this is off the table for President Biden.
I just want to make sure, I felt like I paraphrased it, and Jonathan, sorry to interrupt, but the exact question was posed by our own Fox News reporter, Mark Meredith. He said, quote, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son? To which Karine Jean-Pierre responded, no, flatly and firmly.
Yes, and keep in mind, he may have to wait because this may not be the last indictment of his son. There's still torpedoes in the water for Hunter Biden. The most obvious is a FARA violation. And, that's being an unregistered foreign agent. Many of us have been mystified as to how the Department of Justice has been able to rationalize not bringing a charge against Hunter when they brought the charge rather liberally against Trump associates like Paul Manafort. There are also tax issues here that could still be potentially litigated, although the statute of limitations was allowed to run on the most serious counts. So if the president's going to give a pardon, you might have to wait because it may require heavier lifting than just these 3 counts.
All right. Well, this could just be the first shoe to drop. We'll see if there are more. Jonathan, stand by if you would. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.